in this whole.
Okay, so it's that time again, that time of the week when we meet with our most gracious.
Let's go. Woo!
Most gracious.
Let's bring it in, baby. Baby, let's go. Woo!
Our most gracious guests every week here at I Am and Aldea Global. Also through INVITAS, we're coming to you live. And we're so happy to have you again with our guest, with yet another guest. And we're going to be talking about, well, this is the Holistic Happy Hour.
Indeed.
We must say, and coming to you courtesy of INVITAS with Dr. Justin Newman and Vitamin Rich.
In the mix.
Yes. We are here again enjoying all these wonderful information that you bring us every week. So you want to tell us, Rich or Dr. Newman, what are we doing today? What's going to be happening? And we're going to learn a lot about your practice.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you. That's what I want to do, Kike, because you're solid and you always come through. So thank you for creating the space for us to actually be able to connect with you who are listening. That on one end. The other part of this is really, really cool because I'd like to share with everybody and kind of get an experience and a feeling of what it is that we get to feel when we meet such amazing people, much like our guest who turned into family members. He's a brother of mine, Raúl. We met through the amazing Gaia. She had actually recommended him to meet us. And from that point on, not to get too much deeper into it, I'm very grateful for Raúl and his presence.
Thank you.
So,
Thank
Raúl,
you.
this is what this is all about, Holistic Happy Hour. It's all about you. So that's what it's pretty much about today. The feeling just very open. And of course, with the great Dr. Justin Newman here, we get to create a lot of really great stuff and have some great conversations for the time being. While he's getting the infusions, we'll go ahead and get into a deeper experience.
Tell us what's going on right now on Raúl's arm. What's happening?
Yes. The anticipation, right? Awesome. So something that Dr. Newman and I, we have pioneered in is called AcuIV. And it's acupuncture with IV infusion. This infusion is a vitamin infusion. And it's actually in a very small concentrated bag. So it's a higher concentration. And what we have supplementing in here is magnesium, vitamin C, zinc, B complex, selenium, a lot of other amazing minerals, vitamins, nutrients, antioxidants that the body also needs, not only to perform properly, but to also eliminate waste. And since we're on the topic of what we're actually doing in this infusion, we're also going to be administering a B12 shot. And why is this so important here? Well, because when you usually get an injection of B12, it's usually intramuscular, and you could absorb about 70% of that. But because this is going directly into the vein, he will be receiving 100% of the B12 shot. So there's no waste, and so what I just do here is we clean the port here.
What has happened before? Can you tell us?
With?
The infusion you did, or just the process that took place before?
Yes, and this is the B12 being pushed.
I love the red color. Cool.
Yes.
So cool.
So you may end up tasting some of this B12 supplement. If you do, that's normal. That's just your body metabolizing it.
All right.
It may taste like a Flintstone vitamin, but that's just usually pretty normal to it. And that the taste will go away, but that's pretty much what we're doing there. So that's to push that there. So that's pretty much, now the process beforehand was actually doing the IV in itself. And what I do is I use pediatric sized needles. There's no reason to go with a big bore needle for something that should really just be more, most people don't like to be stuck by needles, so let's just make this as pleasant as possible. I put the IV in, and we started the treatment at a very slow drip.
Which, by the way, you entered that needle just perfect today.
Thank you, my good man. Thank you. I appreciate that. Really, that's good. It must have been the spray that I put on before. The antiseptic, the numbing one. But regardless, so we started the IV, and then at that point, Dr. Newman came in and put a point, the acupuncture, and that's what AcuIV is. So as it's creating circulation,
We're looking at a needle.
Right here, as you can see. I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, there's the needle.
You can see, and so that's actually a pinpoint that stimulates the immune system, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure Dr. Newman would love to jump in at any moment now, but it also helps relaxation, circulation. Doc, take it away.
It's true. This is one of the reasons why we've invented this method. We pioneered AcuIV because we know that the body needs to absorb these nutrients at 100%. But the other component is the circulation that's going to help to transport those nutrients to the parts of the body that need it. And this is one of the benefits that people experience when they're receiving acupuncture, is that their circulation is enhanced, tension is reduced in the body, stress is reduced as well. Of course, there are about 2,000 points on the body, so we can specifically target points that correlate not only with the benefits that encompass what we were just mentioning, but specific medical goals or concerns that our clients have can be targeted with acupuncture as well. But this is why there's such a perfect combination between the IVs and the acupuncture is really this enhanced circulation. The nutrients, they get through the body and they're absorbed on a deeper level more quickly, because the circulation's enhanced and stress or tension isn't inhibiting that flow to any capacity.
Okay, so far it's vitamin infusion, acupuncture. What else would a typical client obtain if they wanted to have more in one session?
Great question, and that's why, Kike, you're so awesome, because this message is brought to you by Balipura.
Balipura.
And what we like to do here,
auric spray.
Exactly.
Yes.
And as we cleanse this space, and what we do here, we really just facilitate the space to allow the healing to process. But really, I'm not the healer here. He's the healer. He's allowing himself to be present and open. He's his doctor. He's his specialist. He's his coach. He's his number one cheerleader. He's the superhero. It's all about him. And just like he's sitting here, it could be you too who's listening to this. No pressure at all. We just know how to really create the space, hold the space open for you to do and process everything that you feel you need to do. And so that's why, if I may, we're just going to go ahead and spray some of this amazing, what is this, mineral. It's blessed. Here you go. Zoom in on that real quick if you don't mind.
Let me just punch that camera. Yes, it's Balipura. They come from Bali, and they are basically essential oils infused with crystals and volcanic water, pure water. That's what we have learned so far.
Amazing.
And more. They're also, as they're being infused, it's a 2-week process that we learned from the founder of the company. While this is happening, there are mantras that are being played 24/7 inside the factory where they're producing these. So the vibrations are being embedded into these essential oil sprays. Then, after the 2-week process, as Richard mentioned, they're blessed by a priest under a full moon. I mean, and
Wow.
there's been some kinesiology or muscle testing that goes along with these products, and we found that Balipura is 3 times more effective than 2 of the leading competitors out there, not to name any names. But there are a lot of great essential oils out there, but this one stands head and shoulders above the rest. So I'm so glad that you.
Yes.
Wheels are always turning.
You know what I'm saying? Always. It's the vision. It's the mindset. But as you can see, really what I'm doing is I'm creating this space, and I'm trying to add as much into the treatment. So it's not just, this is seriously holistic medicine at its finest.
Yeah.
And I say that because we're tapping into every aspect, the emotional, the spiritual, the physical, the mental, relationships, everything. We want to talk about it all. We want you to feel great in every aspect of your life. So that's basically what we're pretty much doing. But honestly, I'd love to turn this over to you, Raúl, because I really want to. I love his story. I love your inspiration. I feel like I'm an amazing person, and then you inspire me to be even better. And so thank you, Raúl. And I would love for your story to get out there, and so people can relate and see that they too can be healing. And that's one of the things in conclusion here, is that one of the things that when we spoke was you wanted to be healthy for not only yourself but for your family. And that by doing so as an example, you're showing them you are a beacon of light that they're starting to follow. I've met your son, he's amazing, and the way he follows you into this healthy type of living, I do believe there's hope for the future. So thank you for all that you do.
Well,
No pressure.
Yeah, no. Well, I want to say thank you, Richard and Dr. Newman, for allowing me to be here with you guys. This is awesome. It's pretty cool how, you know, how life takes many turns, and all of a sudden you end up sitting in a chair here with two amazing people, and here I am.
Thank you.
Yeah, you know, I started my health journey, you know, almost 4 years ago, and I've been doing a lot of really cool things. And like you mentioned earlier, you know, Gaia kind of introduced me to you guys, and I went in to see what was all this infusion was about. And really what it's about is that, you know, God made our bodies like so perfect, and unfortunately we're the ones who kind of like mess it up during our eating habits and whatnot, the pollution, this and that. So I kind of got into like, how can I make me better? How can I feel better? You know, so I was doing a whole bunch of stuff and kind of a lot of cleansing and doing a lot of like, you know, different protocols to get there. And then I figured out this. You know, these infusions are like just like the perfect mix between science and holistic coming together. You know, and giving me like all these minerals and vitamins and antioxidants and all those wonderful things right into my body, and having it to be absorbed, man, it just makes me feel like I could just conquer the world now with this great, clean, fun energy. And that's what this has given me, which I've been trying to do without it. Like, you know, by drinking, you know, by,
that's a good
by
point.
doing, you know, different teas and cleaning my gut and cleaning this. So, you know, all that was wonderful, you know, and then all of a sudden I'm doing this. It's like, whoa, this is like speed track.
Yes. Wow. Nice.
Kind of where I'm trying to get
That
at.
makes sense.
You know, because yeah, you could do it, you know, in other methods. It might take you 3, 4, 5, 6 years, or hang out with Madam Rich and Dr. Newman, and because it's not just these vitamins, it's the steps before I got to the vitamins, right? Because you all like
wow. Thank
detox
you.
my body deeply in a cellular level,
Correct.
right? So it was that 3 weeks, about 3 weeks, 3 weeks of deep detox that I did with you all before I got into all the good stuff.
And by good stuff, we also had a chance to diagnose your specific deficiencies that were unique to you and your body.
That's correct.
You know, while the body's becoming more available, we're waiting for the lab to process,
That's
and
correct.
and we're off and running.
Which was amazing because, you know, how many times do we really know our bodies? You kind of think we know our bodies. Yeah, I'm eating, you know, carrots and I'm eating, you know, broccoli. It's like, whoa, what's it really doing to my body? Do I really know that? No. But then with that amazing, really deep analyzing blood work test, it was like black and white. Again, science meets holistic. There you had the black and white, you know, proof of what my deficiencies were and what were not my deficiencies. And then we could tackle that through infusion, through diet, through exercising, whatever, you know, combination, you know, the doctor prescribed. In a sense, right?
It is, and you've managed to fit it into your lifestyle, which is, as Richard was saying, the most inspirational component. It's lifestyle medicine in a way. It's not enough to just take vitamins or just do acupuncture, but you've found a way to work certain aspects of this once you leave our center into your day-to-day. That I'm not putting words in your mouth, but I think this also helped to make a big impact. And as you were saying, those who are in the world with you.
And what I've learned throughout this process is like, not just do I feel better physically, man, my attitude is so much better. The way I can handle problems are much better. My mental health is better. Everything, all that other stuff that kind of like crashes you, don't crash me anymore.
and also is not addressed when you do a detox or cleanse somewhere. You follow a program, great programs out there, but they're not necessarily holistic and functional in the way that I think you're experiencing here.
That's correct.
They touch on maybe just the body, but not mind, emotions, situations, relationships.
And that's the true essence of bettering yourself. Because you could be a fantastic athlete and you're like physically, you're like this incredible specimen, but what's going on up here?
Of course. Yeah.
You know, that's a huge part of your life. Probably a bigger part than your physical.
Yeah, well said.
Well, you know, that's interesting you should say that, because that's really what my next question to you is what triggered your mind to find health? One of our previous topics was health as a mindset. And if you think about it, before you went on this journey into this holistic world, there were X amount of years, times, situations that it was never really thought of, considered, needed, desired, wanted, and at some point in time in your life, something switched in your mind that said, I need to heal, I need to be better, I need to feel better. So I'm curious to find out, because you know, a lot of what we've been talking about, especially that I've been feeling, is everything is mindset. Everything is mindset.
It is.
And before the mindset is the being. Your soul is, I think, on a deeper level than the mind or the body. They're both equally important. Sometimes your body can push you past your mental limitations. David Goggins, Iron Cowboy James, these are all people who do amazing things that is just unbelievable. But there's also times your mind can push your body to do also other things. But there's still a source that's even deeper than that, more profound, and that's the soul. It has to be, I'm guessing, your being.
I mean,
so at what point did you transition? 'Cause I think oftentimes people are stuck in this position of not knowing of, what are these guys talking about? Mental, physical, being, like what? This is some weird stuff.
It is.
But they're all juggling the same damn question. Is what the hell are we doing here? Like, what's going on? What's really going on? So at what point do you wake up and say, I need to be healthier?
I guess probably two things, but the main thing, which is probably be the most obvious thing to me, was being a dad. Once I became a dad, you know, focus wasn't on me anymore. I wasn't being selfish anymore. It wasn't about me going out with my friends, going out, you know, drinking or partying, or going out, you know, to a football game or just whatever. It was always my time. So my time was special because it was my time. It was me. I was being selfish with my time. Now that once I had a family and a wife, this and that, it's like, well, it's not me anymore. My time is now number 3. My time is served better elsewhere. So then when I was trying to do that, I had zero energy. I was overweight. I was like, man, this sucks. You know, I'm trying to do something and it's not going there. I just put my son into martial arts, and I met, you know, his master, Angel Gonzalez, and he kind of like sparked me up on moving me in a direction of, dude, get healthy, clean your body, and you're gonna see that you're gonna have energy. And he told me like one day, what would you do if I give you all the energy in the world? What would you do with it? I don't know. What would you do with all this energy? You don't know, because we don't have all that energy. And all of a sudden he started taking me into all these little protocols, and all of a sudden I started getting this life, this energy back into me. It's like, holy crap, now I got energy. Now I actually want to wake up and do a little jog. Now I want to wake up and, hey, you know what, that little project behind the house, hey, I got energy, now I can do it. Because without the energy, you're not going to do it. If you have low energy, you're going to sit home, watch TV, watch the football game, you're just hanging out. You're living, but are you really living? You're living without no energy. So then I started getting energized, and the more energy I had to expend that energy somehow. Because you can't be sitting there full of energy and just sit still. It's impossible. You're fidgety, this and that. You got to do something with that energy. And it's basically your body, your cells vibrating. They're all like, you know, they're moving. So I started getting that feeling of energy. It's like, holy crap. And then I would go out and I have a couple of drinks. Also, my energy level goes. I was like, well, this sucks. I was feeling so good. Now I was like, no, I'm not feeling as energized as I was. Like, man, you know what? Maybe I don't need to drink so much. I don't know. Let's try it.
Right.
And I started like, you know what? Maybe you know what? I don't need to drink so much. Cause now, man, I'm grooving now, man. I'm feeling great. So now I started. So from one thing next to the next, and then I met Gaia, and then we started doing this magnetic stuff, and it's like, wow, this is pretty cool. And she's cleaning my body. She's found all these things, and it's like, man, this is freaking pretty awesome, man. This whole holistic thing is like, man, this is pretty cool. So I kept doing, and going back to Master Angel, I was like, hey, try to, do these teas and whatnot, and try fasting, try this. So like, yeah, man, at this point, I'm an experiment, man. I want to try everything. So I was trying all these different things, and the more things I would try, the more energy I was getting. And then my mind was healing, and I could see things, and things weren't blurry anymore. And I'm like, man, this is going good. And then I walked into your office, already with a good energy, and I kind of already changed my ways, and I was walking into your office like, well, what's the next step to be a better version of myself? How can I be a better person? How can I be a better husband, a better father? How can I be a better, brother, son to my parents? How can I do that? Just like, well, just by the more mind, body, and your soul you are, the more cleansed you are, the more, I guess, detoxified you are.
And available.
The better you feel, the better any situation that comes at you, you know kind of how to deal with it. So then, bam, you start hitting with these infusions. And man, I thought I was detoxed.
That's so awesome.
But man, you guys detoxed me down to like this cellular level that I didn't think I could reach. And bam, I was like there. And I was like 2 weeks in, it's like, man, can we start this thing? I was like, no, not yet. Not yet. You still need a couple more of these things. Like, all right, man, I want the good stuff already. And finally, the time came when I got infused with all these vitamins and stuff, and just like, man, it was just, it's really more almost like besides a body, out of body feeling, but it's more mental, man. I think kind of like doctor, you said, like our brain is also, it's an organ, that has chemicals and stuff in it. So we have a lot of like stuff in there that are not supposed to be in there. A lot of chemicals, a lot of pollutions. All of a sudden, the brain ain't working so good. But once it's all clean, holy shit, man. Sorry for the bad word, but you get to really see things for what they are, and it's cool.
Yeah.
And there's no more lies. You see lies. You see,
yeah, for sure, most definitely. Yes, you do.
Things coming at you, like, man, this is like, wow, I was living in this other world. This is like
more awareness.
Yeah, more awareness,
connected.
more like
you're more in tune with yourself.
For what they are, without any.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Then something special happens. Once you have that clarity, then the character that you present is more authentic too.
Because you're you now.
Because now you're you. Before, we might create characters to fit situations, but the situations as we perceive them have their own misunderstandings and misperceptions. They're not, as you say, real and as clear as they can be. So the character can't be as real and effective as it needs to be. Now the characters you create, they're capable in a way because they're aligning with something that's, as you say, real and clear to you where it wasn't before.
Yes.
Your limitations start to go away.
Yes. Yeah. And it's a cool thing.
It's a
cool thing. And then sometimes I hang out with my family and brothers and sisters and that, and and I'm like, man, I wish everybody could feel like that.
Right, yeah, I get it, yeah. Yep, so cool. Exactly.
It is.
Yeah,
I think eventually everybody will get there on their own time, but it's a really awesome.
Well, I can tell you, what tends to happen is sometimes these beings with these characters that they fall back into an old character.
Yeah.
And so while others are kind of becoming more self-aware, I think with doubt and limitations and fear, that character that once was so enlightened can fall back into a pattern of stillness, of just lack of energy, lack of
it all starts with energy, man.
And so I love the fact, because that was going to be my next question, is how do you maintain
Excuse me,
this job.
can you spray a little more of your spray?
Only because you asked, but this is very special stuff. This right here, I don't know, where am I going? This, you got to check this. This is the best. It's such a beautiful presentation. It smells amazing. I wish you could smell it. It feels amazing when you spray it on you. I'll be honest with you, every client that comes in, I mention it to them, and I ask them, would you like me to spray some on you? And every single one of them is, yes, please. Let me just smell it. They feel it.
Smells amazing.
Balipura. Let's spray some more.
That's the name?
Balipura.
Balipura, you can see.
Is that which one is that particular?
And you can find it online.
Is that the
Just go to
grounding
balipura.com.
This one's the 7 chakras.
the 7 shots?
Let's all, let's do it again, man. Let's pass it around.
That's right.
You
I'll
know?
take
Yeah,
some.
no, I'm gonna pass it right over to you here, my good man.
Here we
Here
go.
you go.
Here, thank
Got
you.
some for you right
I
there,
love it
boy.
because it's not only on, it's through the aura.
Whoa.
It's right, the body, right? With the
Nice.
energy body, the
Nice.
space,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You throw
Indeed.
little kikes way.
Yeah, for sure. And I must be honest with you, this is what holistic happy hour is truly all about, because we used to, we maybe is too many, I'll speak for myself, but this isn't the light up, pass, puff. This is the pass, purify.
Mm-hmm.
Let's cleanse our aura. Let's just clean the space that we're in, and feel the love, feel the connection of all of us being one, being united.
I love it. It's a happy
Yes.
hour, but
It
it's
is a happy hour.
holistic, and
And
there's
it's
more
holistic.
well-being.
Yes, indeed.
And it's blessed. I mean,
And it's blessed.
Blessed on a
Yes.
full moon with mantras.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we're
Amazing,
looking
man.
forward to carrying more of those sprays in our practice, in our well-being center. Actually, it seems like it's becoming primarily for that, because not everyone knows that these products exist. And if there's one thing that I'm always amazed as is I get to sit and interview the most amazing people. Everyone has a story. I love to hear people's story. It's the story of their legacy. And what I really love to do is share this space with you. So even the founder of Balipura, when she came in for a holistic happy hour, her energy was so bright. She was just so full of light, love, energy. And I can see that there's a lot of people who need that type of person in their life. And so therefore, I like to use these types of different resources to pass on those feelings. Like her presence is here just in the spray.
Yeah.
No matter where she's at, she's here. And that's awesome.
That's cool.
And that's amazing. So I love to have these things in our office so people can, because just like we're feeling this, our clients feel it too. And they ask for it. Oh, do you have more of that spray? And I love it. I'm like, yeah, of course, because I know they're feeling it. So it's bringing energy to Balipura in a different form. But yeah.
The one thing I love that you do is you introduce
Only
these
one?
ideas, and one of the many things I only have 2 hands to count on is that as people experience some of these treatments, or they're exposed to these aromatherapies and sprays and all kinds of other
Flowers.
aspects. And flowers. There's a lot of elements. It's subtle. It's theatrical in a way, but not as a theatrical in and of itself. But it sets a stage and an experience, right? And you create an experience for people where they are connected with themselves. We have these tools and techniques that we can use and implement in the office, and they feel amazing, and Raúl, amazing. But then they go out into the world and they feel more amazing because they found a way to access that in themselves. These things that you're introducing, beautiful, they unlock these doors in people where they're like, I have that to help me along,
For sure.
but I have me now.
For sure.
You know?
Oh, wow. Well, this is going to get deep. Look how amazing we can go from highs and lows and all these amazing things. So lately, as with all this insight that I've been dealing with, it opened up a place of pain within me that I had to dive into and find out what that pain was. And it was abandonment. That's my ultimate issue, is abandonment. I've been dealing with abandonment from a young kid. And I can remember my childhood looking around, and I really never have had anyone there. So I'm like processing that stuff, and I'm working through it. And yesterday was a very interesting day for me because it reminded me of how alone I am, despite how great things I can teach people to feel things, move, feel alive and passion. And yet in a moment of the day, I felt so alone. And it made me realize that I still need to go deeper within myself, but everything that I'm searching for is in me. And yeah, it would be beautiful to say I have a mother, I have a father, I have a sister, I have an uncle, I have, you know, XYZ things. But I can't say that. What it is teaching me is to be comfortable and present with myself. And sometimes we still don't need other people. I'm great with myself, love myself. I can share that space with myself. But people are also important too. And sometimes if we get too wrapped up in our own characters and we start finding out in this being and all this great mindset and stuff and all that, we can also too get wound up so tight that we start to undo the things that the universe has sent us. Mm-hmm. Beautiful people are, I believe the love note sends us people in the form, sends us love notes in the form of people. But if I'm closed off, I'm not open to them. If I have my own story or feelings from an egotistical perspective, I may not even really be seeing this blessing that's standing right before me.
That's correct.
And so it made me have to step out. And it was interesting because I was in the office, in the room, and I was there by myself, and I'm thinking, what do patients feel when they're here? And so it was this feeling of ultimately, it's so important to tune into yourself. You have to connect with yourself, self-love. You have to be able to want the best for yourself. And sometimes that's difficult. So I appreciate you for staying on track with always staying connected with wanting to be better, because ultimately by the end of the day, I felt so much love knowing that in this feeling of either abandonment or sadness, I just put my hands on my heart and I said, you're gonna be okay. It's okay. I'm okay. I don't need to feel the need to have something else. I'm missing this feeling of me being with me. And it all went away. So a lot of this is very important of what you're saying, Doc, is being present with yourself and needing yourself. Right? I think that's where
absolutely.
We're going with this.
And we've gone quite a ways in our healing journey together.
Mm-hmm.
And just to build on what you said, and thank you for sharing that with authenticity and being vulnerable
Most
for
definitely.
our viewers, so they can connect because they're feeling something
Most
too,
definitely.
even if they don't know.
Right.
Is that we have this awareness of something's going on there. What character am I presenting with? Am I in a tight space, and why, and for how long? And yet, as much as your awareness is expanding, I've really come to appreciate the ways in which your experiences have also expanded. Your mind has opened to different characters, all kinds of plus and super versions of yourself that have carried those heavier, tighter wound versions along, but you've been able to apply it.
Right.
It's not enough just to know, right? You know, but you've actually applied and in a practical way, you're living it. How do I now live as the plus version of myself? Because I know it's there, and I know I deserve it, and I know I can bring that to the world. But if it stays as just a concept in my awareness, it's of very little value. Not no value, because we need to know. But more, we need to apply and live it, and you do that.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. A lot of it has been you, with your philosophies, with your way of looking at things, with your way of explaining things, for me to understand who I've been, who I am, the characters that I've had, the Ricky, Rick, Richards, all this crazy stuff. One would think I have these different characters, but we all have these different characters.
We're not schizophrenic.
But I remember when Dr. Newman first started telling me about these characters. I remember I was in my house one day getting my coffee ready, and I'm trying to think of these characters, like who woke up today, who's driving the bus, and all this other great stuff. And I'm like, this guy's telling me to be schizophrenic. I'm like, I don't know who to be anymore. I was like,
because you don't want Ricky to make your coffee.
No,
because
it's not coffee.
To make your coffee.
Exactly.
Right.
So
it's right.
This is your experience too. I think as we've also been talking.
Yeah.
That's right. Because as the day goes by, we kind of like sometimes our subconscious takes over, so you're kind of like almost at autopilot. But when you're on autopilot, who is that person?
Right?
Right?
My wife is always reminding me, she's a mental health counselor, so I get a lot of this at home too. She's the movie with Adam Sandler, Click. He has
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
You can
Yes.
fast forward pieces of your life that may be monotonous or and before you know it, your life has passed you by, and you're on autopilot.
Wow.
And you've missed it.
Yes,
But the
yes.
question is, when you're on autopilot,
Who is driving
Who's
the
driving the
bus?
bus?
It's a good question.
That's
Right?
yeah.
So like, yeah,
Wow.
it could be like you said, Rick, Richard, all these
Uh-huh.
different, yeah, well, when you're autopilot, sometimes when you like when you're driving or something, you miss your exit. You're like, why did I just make it? Because you're just like zoned out. Like,
Right.
who was that person who was
Was
just
that?
driving?
Yeah.
It happens to all of us
It
Yeah,
does.
it's
as
interesting.
characters.
as characters.
Because we
yeah.
get stuck in a character, and the true self, our soul, as Richard was mentioning, it's not always engaged 100%. Our soul might be like connected always, but drifting a little. It's not in the character all the time. It's just a character on the autopilot doing
Yeah.
its things, which can be great things.
Yeah.
Right.
But the character, by definition, has its limitations. Whenever
right.
the soul is not embedded and engaged,
Yeah.
we will sooner or later miss our exit, so to speak.
Right. Well, what's interesting that you say that, because it wasn't just your philosophies and the way that you've enlightened me to understand life and characters and purpose and things of that nature. But it was also, because remember, I keep saying this, we are our own specialists, we're our own doctors, we're born in this world alone, and we kind of leave on our world alone. And so you have to know how to take care of yourself. And what I did ultimately was, there was just so much pain around me, I had no other choice but to be broken open. And that's really what happened. So everything kind of lined up at the same time, because when I did get to that point, I need to find out what my deficits are, what my deficiencies are. I need to find out what are my odds, and I need to go in all in and raise those odds and make those into something great. That's just who I am. That's how I naturally function. So it's a lot of things, and that's how optimizing human performance came about. Because it's not just the IVs, it's not the acupuncture, it's not the mental health, it's not the physical or emotional or the character, it's all of it. It's the balipura, it's the, the golden, things. Everything has to be top notch for you, because you count, and we forget about ourselves. And we don't practice self-love, and self-love is like a stupid thought, but it's the most important thought. Take it from someone who has felt for so long that I didn't have anyone. And yet, until I had myself, I had everything.
It's all about becoming a better version of
Yes.
you.
I'm going to be pushing the glutathione
the
while I
true
do that.
fullest you.
How can you be the best you as possible?
Yeah, dad is just a character. Be the best dad, but you're not just a dad.
Being a husband, being a
Be the
brother,
best.
being
Yes.
being a son, how do you don't just pick up a book, it's like, this is how you become the better
Right.
you. Like, no, man, it's a process.
With that
So
being
what's
said,
going to happen now?
Glutathione. So
Oh, yeah.
glutathione is the anti-aging serum. That's what it's
Can you
called.
do a recap of what just happened
With
when
this?
the beginning of the? So some people that just tuned
Yes,
in.
I drew this up.
Okay.
This was pre-drawn. This is glutathione. This is known as the anti-aging serum. Our guts produce glutathione. What study shows is that when those levels drop, we age. What is it really? Well, it's the most natural antioxidant that your body uses and produces in order for it to eliminate wastes. So it's not something that's synthetic. It's not a synthetic detox that we're about to infuse intravenously. This is a natural supplement that you can actually use. It has so many benefits. But because it's going 100% through absorption through the IV point, it's even more effective. The reason why I push this towards the end is because based off of all these vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that were just infused, we want to create space within the cells. And what does this do? It's an antioxidant. So what is it going to do? It's going to remove the acidicness and the detox basically from the cells and the guts, where, by the way, 70% of your immune system comes from your gut. Glutathione being pushed.
There you go.
So
What I love about this too is that these infusions that Richard creates, they can be tailored to specific kinds of medical deficiencies and needs, like fibromyalgia, fertility problems, anxiety, arthritis. Chelation can be used to help pull heavy metals out of the body. So we optimize performance, but it can be tailored in a way that's so unique to the individual. And the acupuncture can go along those same lines.
So you've already given me B12,
B12, glutathione,
Regenrative, and then
vitamin C,
all
magnesium,
your-
calcium, biotin. Remember, since we ran that diagnostic on you, We knew exactly what your deficiencies are.
And it was all in the bag.
It's all in the bag. All of it is in the bag. What can be infused? What can't be infused is obviously recommended.
This is the best cocktail I'm ever gonna have in my life.
This is the best cocktail because it's specifically to, and I like what you did. I saw what you did there. That was good. I'm gonna have to use that one. But it's specifically tailored to your deficiencies. So if we had all run this test on ourselves, we would all have different bags because we all have different deficiencies. So it's important. It's good that you did this diagnostic.
How you said earlier how I was gonna taste. Yeah, you actually start.
You start tasting it, right?
Tasting,
Isn't that amazing?
yeah,
and that's
cool.
your body's metabolizing it.
Yeah.
That's how fast it gets absorbed. This is amazing stuff, man. This is really good stuff. I'm blessed and thankful to be in this position to do this kind of stuff.
I'm telling you, it makes me feel really good. It makes me feel, like like my energy level is going up.
Mm-hmm.
And we can't do anything without energy.
Yeah.
Energy is the force that keeps us moving and keeps our mind going. And you got your bad energies and your good energies.
Mm-hmm.
And being in this room together with all you guys, there's so amazing positive energy. That just uplifts you for the rest of the day.
Thank
And
you.
we stand on the shoulders of giants, as Richard mentioned.
That's only because I'm short, but that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, look. In terms of these infusions, just on that level alone, people should know. And I know you trust in what we do because Richard's a specialist. He's been in the field for 20 years. Great infusionist. But we have pharmacists that compound these formulas, award-winning pharmacies, third-party tested with oversight, right? They're compounded specifically for our clientele, so there's not a lot of inventory. It's all fresh, right? So there are people that provide on the back end high concentrations of nutrients so you get the impact you're looking for quickly. But it's overseen by pharmacists and by a team of specialists that are behind the scenes that you don't meet. You might meet us, but there's a whole support team of specialists that are checked in all kinds of ways.
Most definitely. And it'll always be the highest quality. I want the best for the best. It has to be. It's non-negotiable. These supplements have to be 100% pure, highest quality, highest form. That's all I will ever infuse. I will never water down my treatments. I will never cut those corners. I will never do that. So there's a difference. So that's my intention going into the service that one gets from and I will never jeopardize that.
And if you ever meet Rick, you'll understand how sincere he is when he says that he will never,
thank you,
ever cut corners.
No, man.
It's not his character.
It's not my thing.
Or his
I can't.
way of being.
Thank you. That's nice. Thank you. That's very true.
I believe in that 100%.
I, on the other hand, cut a lot of corners. Not in terms of quality, but in shortcuts. How can we, like you said, how can we fast track things? I'm looking for hey, I have a greater character and more depth available, but then what do I do with that? Let me not take a month if I can do it in a minute. You know what I mean?
The doctor's like a ninja. As he's putting there his infusion, the doc walks in there and he just throws those needles in you. You're like, damn, I didn't even see the doctor, man.
This is what happens when you also have 20 years plus of experience doing acupuncture. So
So in conclusion, since these needles are at some point, we're at the end of the infusion bag, and some needles need to start coming out, and maybe we can focus on the way out of this crown chakra. Why don't you explain this needle that we have and the amazing.
Of many points, there are about 2,000 points on your body that we could use. There are some that are more useful during infusions than others, but as I mentioned, they can be tailored to your specific needs. But here on the crown of the body, there's a gold-plated needle that's used. Without getting into the science, because who cares ultimately, different metals affect the flow of energy in different ways. And this is a gold-plated needle, so it's going to move and intensify the field of energy around this point. This crown point, this crown point is used and focused in yoga and many other systems because of the influence it has on the whole system. And the gold-plated nature of this point helps move energy more quickly around the spot and energize that point in a way that other types of needles, metal, doesn't quite do. No souvenirs though, it's part of our policy. but it's important because it coordinates the whole set of points. It helps open up the pituitary gland and help the body work on many levels. It clears stress, pain, toxins, moves circulation. We've had clients come in for just that one point. But it's gold-plated in terms of quality. We don't sacrifice that, even on our point prescriptions. It's very important to focus on that and to know that too.
It's that quality that y'all Oh,
Has to be.
yeah.
So you want to remind us how to reach you guys, where are you located, and all the details for anyone who's interested.
For sure. Check us out. We're located in Pinecrest. We're right across from Dayland Station. You can give us a shout. You can even call me directly if you ever have any questions at any time for anything. You're never alone. 786-257-6848. Vitamin Rich. Let's go.
We have another one. This is the main office, right?
Yep.
305
that's main office.
663-5696.
Correct.
Yeah, you can call or text whenever, but of course, reach out to Richard if you have specific needs, if there's something after hours, or if our admin is taking an extra few minutes to get back to you. Definitely reach out to Richard.
Oh, yeah. Let's go. Let's go. And with that being said, I think it's about that time.
It's time to go.
Yep.
It's been a wonderful presentation as always. We really enjoy having you guys here come over and bring wonderful guests such as Raúl. We had a great time.
Thank you.
In the
Thank
mix.
And
you.
it's only getting better and better. So I think it's
About
time
that
for us to go.
All right, let's go. On
But,
3. You got to
Any final
celebrate the
thoughts?
entrance and you got to celebrate the exit. You know what I'm saying? Let's go, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you for making this happen.
Let's go.
All right. So make sure you visit invitasforlife, right? To learn more about this wonderful holistic therapy, part of the International Association of Alternative and Ancient Medicine. So for now, enjoy the rest of the day.